Today on r/Today I F Up, elevator dance moves caught on camera, a 14-year email fail, and one cracker that built a crow army. Let's go.
For the last 2 years, I've been going into the office 3 days a week. Each of those days started with me stepping into an elevator to the 14th floor and ended with me coming off the elevator at the first floor. In between, there are countless times where I'd use the elevator for lunch or whatever occasion I needed to step out for. Without fail, every time I have ever been in this elevator alone, I'd do some goofy stuff because it's my own personal space. Sometimes I'd dance to whatever song was playing in my earbuds. If it was Lil Wayne, I'd do throwing money gestures. If it was Benson Boone, I'd do an air guitar and sing out loud. Imagine the high note of please in Beautiful Things. For 2 years, I've been doing goofy stuff like this, including throwing it back and catching myself doing it and laughing out loud saying, bruh, I'm actually stupid as heck. Today, I walked towards the elevators like usual and found myself alone in it once again. So I looked at the elevator's mirror and started posing like I'm in a bodybuilding contest. Started yelling out, look at you, yeah, big man on the scene, pose switch, another grunt, the muscle, grunt, the definition. Then the elevator doors opened, so I gave myself the finger guns in the mirror as I regained my composure before I conducted myself professionally as I walked into the office. I know you're already judging, but I would never do this in public. Genuinely speaking, these little moments brighten up my day sometimes because I get to act a fool. I live my day-to-day life pretty restrained, and this is one way for me to ease up the tension a bit. Outside of that elevator, I swear to God you would never expect this from me. I'm so stuck up at work and know the corporate lingo to a fault. I'm the guy who talks about action items, meeting agendas, and product life cycles. I greet everyone with a good morning and have a wonderful night, including security. Well, today, as I left the office a bit earlier than usual, the security clerk spotted me walking towards the exit from a distance, and I kid you not, he yelled out word for word, "Prah! Big man on campus!" The way my face flushed, I said, "Pardon me?" He said, "Oh, sorry, I was talking to my colleague." "Oh, have a good night." Gives me finger guns. Bruh, they can fire my butt. I do not care. I am never working at the office again. At least until he retires.
I cannot stop laughing at this. 2 whole years thinking the elevator was your private little stage, busting out dance moves, hitting high notes, flexing like you were at Mr. Olympia, and security was just sitting there with a front row seat and popcorn. That big man on campus moment, I would have had to retire on the spot. You can't just come back from that. And the finger guns? Oh, that was the mic drop. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't have done the exact same thing. Minus maybe the bodybuilding grunts. Honestly, this is the kind of workplace footage I wish they'd release at the holiday party. Just a highlight reel of things we've seen in the elevator. And speaking of highlight reels, the next one's about a husband who accidentally shared his little inside joke with the entire world for 14 years.
Most of us have a name for our spouse or significant other. Playing with Siri one day, I changed my wife's name on my phone to Tits McGee and never bothered to change it back. Obviously, when you change the name of someone on your phone, that name is associated with all the contact information for that person. So even though my wife's name isn't a part of her email address, every time I'd email her, the name shown would be Tits McGee. For 14 years, I thought I was the only one that saw that. However, every email I've ever sent that had my wife copied on, the recipient saw Tits McGee. Every single email, including our daycare center. I'd like to thank the wonderful team at Chuck E. Cheese Event Planning for pointing this information out to me in an extremely professional manner.
I am crying over here. I cannot believe you went 14 years thinking it was just your little inside joke, and the whole time, the daycare, coworkers, probably the random guy selling you lawn fertilizer all saw Tits McGee in their inbox. I can't even picture reading that on a PTA email without spitting out my drink. And the fact that it was a Chuck E. Cheese event planner who finally told you? I'm sorry, but I would have lost it right there. If this happened to me, I don't think I could fix it. I'd lean in hard. My email signature would just say, "Warm regards, Tits McGee." Own the chaos. And speaking of chaos, the next one's about how tossing a single cracker to a crow turned into running a full-on bird gang.
It all started innocently enough. I saw a lone crow in my yard and tossed it a cracker. Harmless, right? Wrong. That single act of kindness seems to have spread through the crow grapevine, and now I have a full-blown murder of crows as my constant companions. Every morning I step outside and they're there, perched in nearby trees, cawing like they're clocking in to their day jobs. They follow me on walks, and yesterday one even dropped a shiny gum wrapper at my feet. I think they're trying to pay me in crow currency, which is both endearing and slightly unnerving. At this point, I've accepted my new role as their unofficial snack provider and accidental overlord. I'm genuinely curious to see where this goes. Maybe I'll end up with a crow army or a collection of shiny gifts. Either way, it's a wild ride, and I'm here for it.
Okay. This might be my favorite accidental life upgrade ever. You give one cracker to a crow, and suddenly you're the CEO of a feathered mafia. They've got shifts, they've got tribute payments and shiny gum wrappers. Honestly, I'm a little jealous. If it were me, I'd be leaning all the way in. Matching outfits? Check. Daily roll call? Absolutely. Maybe even teach them to dramatically land on my shoulder when I walk into the yard. Go big or go home, right? And sure, it's a little creepy that they're always watching. But free gifts and a loyal bird army? That's a solid trade-off in my book. Let me know in the comments, would you embrace the crow overlord life or start wearing a disguise just to get some peace? And that's all for today's r/Today I Fudged Up, where bad decisions make for amazing stories. If that made you laugh, wince, or both, hit that thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments, or tell me about your own oops moment. Don't worry, this is a judgment-free zone. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance. Smash that button, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next one, where someone else makes a mess so you don't have to. Bye.